Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ IAS English. My name is Shubham Sagar and today we'll be doing lecture 18 and that is related to, as you can see here, Bahmani Kingdom and Deccan Sultanate. See, understand one thing. What we are trying to do here is not trying to do PhD on a particular topic. This is UPSC 2025 complete crash course. So the major objective is, and this is UPSC pre-2025 complete crash course. So the major objective is to enable you people to crack pre-2025, you have to crack it. So again, if we are talking about Bahmani Kingdom and Deccan Sultanate, they are related to Vijayanagar Empire, In the previous lecture, we have talked about Vijayanagar Empire. We had also seen NCERT class 12, chapter 7, and that chapter was completely revolving around Vijayanagar. That shows the importance of Vijayanagar. If we talk about whether they mentioned Bahmani Kingdom and Deccan Sultanate in that particular chapter, the answer is yes. Have they mentioned them lesser compared to Vijayanagar? The answer is yes. That tells you about the significance of Vijayanagar Empire as well as the significance of Bahmani Kingdom and when it will be, bifurcated or it will break apart into 5 Deccan Sultanate. So, understand the importance. Vijayanagar is much more important compared to Bahmani Kingdom, but there are so many questions which you will be able to solve. Let's say if you know about Bahmani Kingdom, maybe in pre you will be able to eliminate some options related to questions asked on Vijayanagar because both the things are happening at the same time. Vijayanagar, Bahmani Kingdom and the bifurcation of Bahmani Kingdom into 5 Deccan Sultanate. All these things are running concurrently. So one will help you in solving questions related to others. Fine, sir. So just like we have done, good evening Bulbul, just like we are doing in every of our classes from last 5-6 classes, we are taking at least 10 questions. Since today's lecture theory wise is comparatively smaller than the previous lecture, so today we will do more than 10 questions. This is a question asked in 2023. Consider the following dynasties, and this is a tough question. In fact, out of more than 10 questions which we will be doing today, this will be the toughest question. So don't worry about it if you're not getting this question correct. So consider the following dynasty 2023 PYQ: Hoysalas, Gahadwala, Kakatiya and Yadava. How many of the above dynasties established their kingdoms in early 8th century AD? A only 1, B only 2, C only 3, D none. What is your answer? Good evening Charita. So what according to you is the answer? See, if you people will be like, sir, oh sir, you have not talked about all these. I will give you the source where we have discussed about all these kingdoms and we have to know only what is required. Otherwise, okay, Dark has given the answer, only 2. Anybody else wants to contribute to this particular question? So let's try to understand it. How many of the above dynasties established their kingdom in early 8th century AD? So here, if we are talking about 8th century, so that means 701 to 800 AD, that is 8th century. But they are talking about early 8th century, so let's say 701 to 749 AD. Let's take up until 749. Hoysalas, Gahadwala, Kakatiya, Yadava, each of these kingdoms we have discussed earlier. Fine. So let me tell you where we have discussed. Hoysala, oh, I just tripped on the mic. Okay, so Hoysalas, we have talked about it yesterday when we were talking about the origin of Vijayanagar. There are 2 theories related to Hoysalas. One, that they were feudatories of means related to Vijayanagar. That one, they were feudatories of Hoysalas. Second, they were feudatories of Kakatiyas of Warangal. And when we were talking about both of them yesterday, their time period was starting from 10th century, 11th century AD. Like if we talk about Kakatiyas, 1163 to 1323. And then if you are talking about Hoysalas, that was also around 1000 to 1374, something like this. Let me show you. So please don't suffer from short-term memory loss. These are Kakatiyas. This is Kakatiya. This is yesterday's slide related to Vijayanagar. Kakatiyas around 160-year period and they are ruling from 12th to 14th century. So Kakatiyas cannot be the answer. Then Hoysalas, yesterday we have talked about it, 11th century to 14th century AD and they are known for their 42nd UNESCO World Heritage Sites, 3 Hoysalas temples, fine. So again, they are also not there in the early 8th century AD. Now let's come back to other 2 options. Gahadwalas and Yadavas. Gahadwala of Kannauj. This also we have talked about when we were talking about Rajputs. You can go back to Rajput lecture. So Gahadwalas of Kannauj, Jai Chandra, we have discussed their period and that was also around 11th-12th century AD, right? So they are also not there. And then the last, Yadavas. So Gahadwalas, Rajputs. And Yadavas we have talked about when we were talking about Ellora caves. That is Buddhist and Jaina architecture lecture. And there we have talked about that in Ellora caves you have Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism. And when Yadavas arrived between 12th to 14th century AD, they gave patronage to the Jaina caves in Ellora. Do you remember that? You should remember that. And the only way you can remember them is when you are revising these lectures. So Kanya Kubja, Kannauj, Gahadwalas. This is Rajput lecture slide. Gahadwalas, 11th to 12th century. And then if you talk about, and this was Ashutosh Rana, Prithviraj, Jayachandra. And then Ellora caves. This is a lecture of Buddhist and Jaina architecture. See here Yadavas. 12th to 14th century AD gave patronage to Jaina caves. Good evening Sundaram, good evening Charita. Sir, I only remember Kakatiya and Hoysala. So the answer is none. None of them belong to 8th century AD. See what happens when UPSC asked this particular question in 2023, people went into panic mode, full on panic mode that we have to cover each and everything. You don't have to cover each and everything. These dynasties will keep on coming later on also. Just keep in mind when we are discussing all these kingdoms, that will help you in eliminating options. But don't love Gajini that much that you suffer from short-term memory loss and you forget everything. No, no, no. That is Gandhi baat. Gandhi, 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 Gandhi baat. That means that's a bad thing. Okay, bros, let's focus now. So all these things, this is a tough question. So even if you're getting it wrong, don't worry about it. Just revise what you have done earlier. Now the questions which you will get will be comparatively easier, just like what happens in UPSC also. Tough question, easy question. Second question of the day. The ancient Indian play Mudra Rakshasa of Vishakha Datta has its subject revolving around this particular book. We have talked about it a lot. A option, a conflict between gods and demons. B, a romantic story of an Aryan prince and a tribal woman. C, the story of power struggle between the two Aryans. And D, the court intrigues at the time of Chandragupta. So what according to you is the answer? Don't worry, the toughest question of the day has gone. Questions will be comparatively easier from now onwards. So Dark has given the answer. Dark Vibe, what is your real name, bro? If I say Dark, it sounds so. So yes, sir. Mudra Rakshasa of Vishakha Datta. UPSC love Vishakha Datta. UPSC has asked questions on Devi Chandraguptam, the other book of Vishakha Datta. So be ready for Mudra Rakshasa. And this book we have discussed, I think, 1,000 times in our previous lecture of this prelims crash course. Rakshasa was a minister in Nanda Empire. How Chanakya wanted him to be a part of, him and Chandragupta Mauryan army. So the court intrigues at the time of Chandragupta. And here Chandragupta Maurya we are talking about. So the answer is D, as Dark said. And then other people also contributed to it. Chandragupta time here, Chandragupta you can get confused by it. Here it is Chandragupta Maurya. Fine. Third question, and then I think we'll go to the theory part. The concept of Anuvrata was majorly advocated by A, Mahayana Buddhism, B, Hinayana Buddhism, C, Jainism, and D, Lokayat school. Sundaram has given the answer. And yes, sir, since there is a time lag, sometimes there is a time lag in what I'm seeing. So it's better if you're answering after a certain time, just write 3D, 2B. That won't take too much time, to be clear which answer you're giving. So concept of Anuvrata, again, revised. This is a topic from Jainism. In Jainism, we have talked about Panch Mahavrata. Panch Mahavrata. AAA BS, revised Jainism lecture, AAA BS, Ahimsa, Aste, Aparigraha, Brahmacharya and Satya. So, Mahavrata is for people who are monks and nuns, but people, laymen, they cannot, implement all Ahimsa, Aste, Aparigraha, Brahmacharya, Satya in entirety. So, they will implement some part of it and that will be known as Anuvrata. So, the concept is associated with Jainism. Please revise previous lectures. That would be awesome for you. Very good. So now let's move on, bros. So Panch Mahavrata, this is a slide from Jainism lecture. You can go and revise Jainism. So now let's talk about Bahmani kingdom. Let's come to the core topic of the day. 3 questions done. More questions are left for you. When we will get bored by theory, we'll go back to questions. So Bahmani kingdom. We have seen the history that during the period of MBT, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, who was ruling from 1325 to 1351, 1336, Vijayanagar Empire got established, and 1347, Bahmani Kingdom got established. 1347 to 1527. That is the time period which people generally associate Bahmani Kingdom with. But the reality is 1347 to, you can say, 1490. Because after that, the things started getting broken apart, or you will realize what will happen here. So 1347 to 1490, and there also there is a period which is the best period of Bahmani Kingdom, that is from 1463 to 1482, when Muhammad Shah III was ruling. And not only because of Muhammad Shah III was ruling, and there was a minister in his kingdom who was known as Mahmud Gawan. He is very important. If UPSC or other exams, they ask questions related to Mahmud Gawan, Muhammad Shah III, and the things which happened during Bahmani Kingdom. So you have to understand the key facts related to it, plus what NCERT talks about Bahmani Kingdom and Deccan Sultanate. Fine. So 1463 to 1482, Muhammad Shah III's reign, that is the most important period. Mahmud Gawan was the minister, and that's why Muhammad Shah III was able to rule Bahmani Kingdom in a much better manner. Then something happened. What happened? We'll talk about it in few moments from now. So Bahmani Kingdom got established in 1347 by a guy named Hasan Gangu. Hasan Gangu. And this Gangu, sir, is also known as Bahman Shah. Bahman Shah. Fine. Hence Bahmani Kingdom. Cool, bro. So 1347, they have started, ruling the Bahmani Kingdom. Or again, you can do the chronology here. MBT was ruling, during which Bahmani got established. 1527, the year in which it ended, Mughals have started ruling in North. We'll talk about Mughals in 2-3 lectures from now. So Mughals have started ruling in North, but they are majorly affected by Vijayanagar Empire, which, if you see the map here, so Vijayanagar Empire is here, Bahmani Kingdom is here. So if we are saying that Bahmani Kingdom is getting destabilized in 1527, then more than the Mughals, which are just getting established in 1526, they will be majorly impacted by Vijayanagar Empire, which are ruling downwards. And we have seen yesterday, again go back and watch yesterday's lecture if you have not watched it, that from 1509 to 1529, or some book says 1509 to 1530, at that time, the best or the greatest ruler of Vijayanagar Empire, that is Krishna Dev Roy, was ruling. So Krishna Dev Roy played a crucial role in breaking apart Bahmani Kingdom. Although in Hindi there is a term, toot ke bikhar jana. There is a song also. You shouldn't be watching that song. That is for adults only. So toot ke bikhar jana, that means got broken apart. So this whole thing started from 1490 onwards. After Mahmud Gawan was killed. He was a Persian noble, and many people, there were two groups of nobles in Bahmani Kingdom. One was Dakkani noble. We'll talk about this whole story. This is actually a very interesting story, fascinating story, which you have to know. Second is Afaki nobles. Afaki nobles. So Deccani noble are those nobles or those Muslim people. If you remember, during the period of MBT only, some people shifted from Delhi to Daulatabad, Devgiri, and many of them went back to Delhi because they were not able to live in the inhospitable environment of Daulatabad or Devgiri, and some of them settled here in this Deccan region. So these Deccani people, they played a crucial role in the establishment of Bahmani Kingdom and the later Deccan Sultanate. So Deccani noble, these are the people who are there, the Muslim people who are there. Afghani people are those, and Afaki people, this is not Afghani, Afaki. These are the foreign people, people who have come from Persia, etc. And when we are talking about Mahmud Gawan, or when we will talk about Mahmud Gawan later on also, he is a Afaki noble, a noble who has come from Persia. So there is a friction going on between Deccani noble and Afaki noble. There is a fight going on between Deccani noble and Afaki noble, and Deccani noble will say to Muhammad Shah III that Mahmud Gawan is a Pardesi, saath nahi nibhayega. There was a singer in our time whose name was Altaf Raza. He used to sing those songs. Tum to thehre Pardesi, saath kya nibhaoge. That means you are a foreigner. You will not be there with us. And this is the song which Deccani nobles sang to Muhammad Shah III, that this particular guy Mahmud Gawan, he is an Afghani noble or Afaki noble rather. He will not be here with us, so kill him. And Muhammad Shah III was like, okay, Altaf Raja cannot be wrong, so let me kill him. And when he killed Mahmud Gawan, decline of Bahmani Kingdom will start, and then he will die of shock that, oh my god, I killed Mahmud Gawan, I'm such a stupid guy, why did I listen to the Deccani noble? So all these stories we'll talk about. These questions will help us to crack prelims. Sorry, I gave the answer second question. Okay, cool. So, did you understand the story? You will hear more such stories, and these stories are important for you to understand certain terms. Like during that period, we were talking about this Delhi Sultanate, that there were Iqtas and all those. Here you will be having Taraf, the provinces Taraf. And who will be ruling over them? They will be known as Tarafdar. So, like Shah Rukh Khan says Palat. So here you have to say Taraf. We'll see how we will remember all these names and all these nomenclature. Fine, sir. So this is the Bol Bachchan which is going on here. Bol Bachchan means hearsays and facts which we have just discussed. Bahman Shah 1347, he was one of the ministers and he revolted against the Turkic Delhi Sultanate of MBT, Muhammad bin Tughlaq, Hasan Gangu, and he was like, I will not do anything which MBT, whatever you are saying, because I'm fed up of your rule and your, irrational and erratic policies, so to say. Whether it was irrational or not, we can always debate about it. Fine. So 1347, this Bahmani kingdom got established, and we have now just seen the story 1347 to 1527. The best period 1463 to 1482. That is the best period. M. Shah III. When we are talking about some person again and again, that means this is important. And he was ruling with the help of a Afaki noble, Mahmud Gawan. Cool, bro. And they are ruling their capital. If we talk about this Bahmani kingdom, their capital was Gulbarga. Initially, their capital was Gulbarga, and after that, their capital was Bidar. Both of these places, they are in Karnataka. Fine, Gulbarga. What is the current name of Gulbarga? If you know it, you can post it in the comment section. So this is the region where Bahmani Sultanate used to rule. And we have seen it. We have seen it even when we were discussing Vijayanagar Empire yesterday. And we have also seen a nomenclature which NCERT has given to Bahmani Kingdom, Vijayanagar Kingdom, and the Gajapati rulers of Odisha. So these were Gajapatis of Odisha. Bahmani Kingdom were Ashwapatis. They had high quality, good quality horses, Bahmani and later Deccan Sultanate. And this Vijayanagar Empire was Narpati, according to NCERT. So we have to remember these terms. Political history, they contested the control, and this map will give you a better idea. Control of Deccan with Vijayanagar Empire. Fine. And Muhammad Shah III, we have discussed this point, that the power of Bahmani kingdom reached its peak under the rule of Muhammad Shah III during the Vizierate. See, this is a fancy word. This means during the ministership of Mahmud Gawan. And we have seen what was the whole story. See, sometimes what happens, in your office or anywhere, some person will come and he will rise very quickly in the hierarchy. The other people will not like him much. The same thing happened with Mahmud Gawan. He was a Persian, merchant, and he rose from very low from the low of the ladder to up the ladder. And that happened very fast, in a very swift manner. So other people were not liking him. Even if they show it on your face, they were not liking in actuality. Kalburgi, very good, yaar. So, Mahmud Gawan, we have talked about him. This is a library which was opened by Mahmud Gawan in Bidar, Karnataka region. So, he was a Persian merchant. And again, please understand, two major divisions of nobles happened in Bahmani kingdom. One is Dakkani noble, who are the people who are settled in the Deccan region. Some of them have, or most of them have come during the period of MBT, when he shifted from Delhi to Daulatabad. And second is Afaki noble, and he is an Afaki noble. Mahmud Gawan was a Persian merchant who joined the services of Bahmani kingdom. Slowly he became the chief minister due to his personal qualities, and he was of the opinion that, bro, Sir Muhammad Shah III, you have given too much liberty to the nobles, be it Deccani nobles or Afaki nobles. I want you to have a proper control over these nobles, because these nobles, sometimes some of these nobles, they don't do anything, and still you are not penalizing them in some way or the other. And you have to do that, sir. Otherwise, you will lose control over these nobles and they will assert their dominance or independence. So you have to have a control over nobles, me included. And although he was a good guy, honest guy, according to different scholars, but this thing will not be liked by even Dakkani and even his own Afaki nobles. That, dude, what are you doing? King has given us some liberty. Why are you not liking that particular liberty? So he will create enemies not only among Dakkani nobles, but even among Afaki nobles. So this is the point which you have to keep in mind. Fine. So again, his conquest include the Konkan, Goa and Krishna Godavari Delta. Sometimes what happens when you see these things, you just don't look at the map. You have to look at the map. See, this is the map which we have seen yesterday also when we were reading about Vijayanagar, And we have seen Vijayanagar was ruling south of Tungabhadra. Tungabhadra is a tributary of Krishna. Fine. Bhima is also a tributary. So have a look at this map. And then Krishna is here, Godavari is here. This particular region they are talking about, that some portion of or major portion of Krishna Godavari Delta was captured by Bahmani kingdom, and you can always compare and contrast these two particular maps. So Konkan, see here, Konkan, Goa and Krishna Godavari Delta, thus he expanded, blah, 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 blah. His administrative reforms were also important. He tried to, this is the point which will finally lead to the court intrigues and the killing of Mahmud Gavan. Increase the control of Sultan over the nobles and provinces. Provinces, fine. Nobles, nobody liked it. Neither Dakkani nor Afaki nobles. Library at Bidar. Okay. So his period saw the terms you have to remember. Dakkani is easy to remember. Afaki. So just remember Altaf Raza. I don't know how many of you have even seen him. He's one of the best singers I have ever. Like anybody who has seen it, you can post it in the comment section that you have heard about it. So this is the exact statement we have just discussed. What Deccani people said to Muhammad Shah III about Mahmud Gavan, that Mahmud Gavan is a Pardesi, he's an Afaki, he will not be there with us, so kill him, sir. And Muhammad Shah III was like, okay, I will kill him. So the Deccan nobles organized a plot against Gavan. They induced the Sultan to punish him with death sentence and with the song of Altaf Raza. After the execution of Gavan, the Bahmani kingdom began to decline. Muhammad Shah it is said that he died of shock, and this is not the only instance of a king dying of shock after losing his trusted noble. If you read history, you will realize there are so many kings who do stupid things with due respect to Muhammad Shah III, sir, and then they realize what they have done. So again, that's why they say you should have an online journal. Earlier, I also used to do stupid things. Now, whenever I feel like doing some stupid things, I open my online journal, phone journal, and I write whatever is in my mind. And then I realize the next day everything is so hunky-dory. So things will be up and down. That should have, like Muhammad Shah III, the only thing which we can tell him right now is, dude, you should have had a online journal rather than an offline journal, you know. So again, fine. So, Altaf Raza done. Political history, Vijayanagar Empire. Now see, let's try to understand the whole chronology here. So what is the chronology? We have discussed this whole thing, that 1347 to 1527. That is the time period of Bahmani Sultanate. But we have seen 1463 to 1482. That is the period of M. Shah III, Muhammad Shah III. He is ruling, but virtually Mahmud Gavan is ruling. 1482 and for around 1481, 1482, I think 1 year before, Mahmud Gavan got killed, and within 1 year Muhammad Shah III also dies. And then after him, like around 1490, this whole bifurcation of Bahmani Sultanate into 5 Deccan Sultanate will start. You know, 5 Deccan Sultanate, Ahmednagar, Bijapur, Golconda, Bidar, Berar. You don't have to do PhD here. You just have to understand the chronology. That after the death of Muhammad Shah III, from 1490 onwards, this division will start happening. Then what will happen? 1490, this will start happening. By 1527, the process is complete. This process will be made complete or will be completed with the help of Vijayanagar ruler Krishna Dev Roy. So although the process started earlier than Krishna Dev Roy, but the process will be brought to an end by Krishna Dev Roy. So please understand, Krishna Dev Roy played a crucial role in in breaking apart Bahmani kingdom. And that's why he was also known as establisher of Yavana kingdom, which we have discussed in the previous lecture when we were seeing the NCRT, So please keep that in mind. And that's why he was establisher, because he has broken apart Bahmani kingdom. Now Deccan Sultanate are there, or 5 Deccan Sultanates are there. He has to keep a tab on who is ruling or what they are actually doing, and what better way than to ensure that he is the one who will be installing the rulers or helping the rulers. Fine. So all these things are written here by year 1527. We'll talk about Deccan Sultanate in just few moments from now. Hope you understood the chronology here. So now let's solve some more questions and then we'll go to theory. You don't have to read too much theory about Bahmani and Deccan Sultanate. You have to understand the chronology, the important terms, the important ministers, and solve some questions. Fourth question of the day. According to Mimamsa school of philosophy, liberation is possible majorly by means of A. Gyan, B. Bhakti, C. Yoga, D. Karma. And again, this is a question from orthodox schools of philosophy, Samkhya Yoga, Nyaya Vaisheshika, Purva Mimamsa and Uttar Mimamsa. I think that was lecture 8 something, orthodox philosophy. So what is the answer? According to Mimamsa school of philosophy, liberation is possible majorly by means of A. Gyan, B. Bhakti, C. Yoga, D. Karma. Bulbul has given the answer. Yes, these questions will help us to crack prelims Charita. Umesh has given the answer. So again, please revise that particular orthodox lecture. Samkhya has to be studied with yoga. Nyaya has to be studied with Vaisheshika. Purva Mimamsa has to be studied with Uttar Mimamsa or Vedanta school. So when we are saying Mimamsa, that means we are talking about Purva Mimamsa. Purva Mimamsa school, if you again revise that lecture, you will realize they are studying Which Kand? They are studying the Karm Kand of Vedas. And that, what are the Karm Kand? Samhita, Brahmana and Aranyaka. And then the Uttar Mimamsa or the Vedanta school, they will talk about the Upanishad. So here liberation is possible majorly by means of karma. And here by karma, they mean two things, rituals and sacrifices. So please don't. Okay, Sundaram, Charita, all of you, Dark, Umesh, every one of you has given the answer. Please revise. You people have forgotten stuff based on the speed at which you are answering the question. I can sense stuff. So this is the slide from that orthodox school, Mimamsa school, and see here they're talking about focus on earlier Vedic texts dealing with rituals, actions, and similarly as karma. So ritual action is karma. So here they're talking about rituals and sacrifices, how important they are. Fifth question of the day. So based on the following statements, identify the monument. First statement is built in 13th century, conceived as a gigantic chariot of sun god with 12 pairs of exquisitely ornamented wheels pulled by 7 horses. Second statement, built by King Narsingdev I, the great ruler of Ganga dynasty. Third statement is it was included in UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1984 for its architectural greatness. Oh my God. And also for the sophistication and abundance of sculptural work. Choose the correct option. A. Jagannath Puri, B. Lingaraja, C. Konark Temple, D. Lalitgiri. What is the answer? Which temple we are talking about? Ashwini has given the answer. Dark has given the answer. Umesh is telling the answer. And the answer is Konark Temple. Again, go back and revise this particular lecture on temple architecture. We have talked about this Konark Temple, which is also known as Black Pagoda. If you know what is White Pagoda, you can post it in the comment section. Revise temple architecture, bros. Okay, so Konark Temple. Sixth question of the day. Which of the following was the corporation of merchants in ancient India? A. Chaturvedi Mangalam, B. Parishad, C. Ashtadiggaja, and D. Manigrama. Which of the following was the corporation of merchants in ancient India? A. Chaturvedi Mangalam, B. Parishad, C. Ashtadiggaja, D. Manigrama. Okay. So what is the answer? Corporation of merchants in ancient India. Okay, Bulbul has given the answer. And again, if you go back to 5th lecture at the end, that was I think post-modern period, and the starting of 6th lecture, which was Gupta period, we have talked about guilds. We have talked about a PYQ on guild. You have to revise that particular lecture. Guilds. So guilds were association of merchants which were very democratic in nature, and this we have talked at the intro part of the Gupta period lecture, you know, what were guilds and how they were doing. Association of merchants, very democratic in nature, they were setting the time period when they will be working, etc, etc. And then we have talked about different kinds of guilds who were even participating in Southeast Asian trades, you know. So one was Manigramam, other was Ayavadle. So the answer is D, which was first given by Bulbul. And then Umesh, Dark, Charit, Ashwini, all of, and Sundaram also has given the answer, right? So the answer is D, Manigramam. Chaturvedi Mangalam, that is a place where the person who has read or the people who have read all 4 Vedas, they generally used to meet. Parishad is a type of committee during the Vedic period. Ashtadiggaja, we have discussed it yesterday when we were studying Vijayanagar Empire. Ashtadiggaja. And then we have talked about Krishnadev Roy, who had this Ashtadiggaja, a council of ministers comprising 8 members, which also include Allasini Pedanna, who wrote Manu Charitramu along with Tenali Ram and other members. So please revise lectures, don't forget. And in these kind of questions, now always, let's say you know the answer, that is Manigrama, but also look at the other options. What do they mean? And that is actually important from exam perspective. Thik ache, sir. So the answer is Manigrama. And this was the PYQ I'm talking about, which I have given you at the end of 5th lecture, which was I think post-modern period. Do have a look at it. This was the question. What was the answer of this question? I'm not including it in the total questions of the day. I'm just reminding you that based on this question, when we were discussing this question at the end of 5th or the starting of 6th lecture, we have discussed all these guilds and shrenis. 9, Chandragupta Maurya 2. 9, we have not yet done 9th question. Anybody remember the answer of this particular question, what we have discussed earlier? And yes, revise, sir. (2012) PYQ, this is related to guilds and Shreni. And the answer was? This is not Krishna Dev Roy. This is a question related to guilds. Hope you people can see it, right? Umesh has given the answer. The answer was C, 2 and 3. In guilds, kings used to invest, to get more and more profit. So they used to invest, but it was not like every guild was registered with the central authority. Then how come they were democratic? If they are democratic, then they used to have, or they need to have, some freedom. And in this first scenario, it's very extreme in nature, this particular statement. This we have discussed earlier. First is wrong. And then when you are eliminating first, you're left with B and C, 3 only, 2 and 3 only. Second and third are general statements, which we have discussed. Again, you can go to the starting of 6th lecture, Gupta period, ending of 5th lecture, you will see this particular question. Do revise, otherwise you will forget. Now let's come back to the core of our lecture. Umesh and Sally, very good here. Let's come back to the core of our lecture. So we are talking about Bahmani kingdom. And they have broken apart now. And after getting broken apart, there are 5 Deccan Sultanate. So here one is Ahmednagar, second is Bijapur, third is Bidar, Golconda, and here you will see small Berar. So Ahmednagar, Bijapur, Bidar, Golconda and Berar. These are the 5 Deccan Sultanates. Fine. And Vijayanagar is ruling downwards. And these kingdoms, they started getting formed from 1490 onwards. And the process of formation was completed by 1527, when there is no longer a kingdom called Bahmani kingdom. So 1490, up until which period will you see them ruling? So it is said that 1490 to 1690, almost 200 years they ruled. And if you see this, there is a chronology here. Let's say Akbar. We'll talk about Mughals later on. So Akbar 1556 to 1605. And then you have a ruler called Aurangzeb, who is from 1658 to 1707. So again, if you see their chronology, their time period, it's exactly same, 49 years. Akbar as well as Aurangzeb, And during the period of Akbar, he controlled certain portions of Ahmednagar and some portion of Bijapur. And the process of annexation of these Deccan Sultanate was completed by Aurangzeb. So this thing will happen during the period of Akbar. He will, around 1591, he will send a group of people to Ahmednagar and to Deccan Sultanate to tell them that accept my suzerainty, accept my subordination, and these rulers will not oblige to that. And see, understand one thing, we are talking about 1591, Battle of Talikota has already happened by 1565, which we have discussed yesterday. So Vijayanagar is no longer a threat for these Deccan Sultanate. They have in fact expanded a bit compared to this particular map. But the major threat is now Mughals, and especially Akbar, who is very powerful, who has conquered so many areas. Now he want to accept these guys to, accept his suzerainty or subordination. These guys are not doing that. So around 1593, he will send people like Abdur Rahim Khan Khana and all those guys to, wage a small war on them to capture them. So Ahmednagar, there is a ma'am who is ruling, or who will be, ruling the army of Ahmednagar, that will be, or leading the army of Ahmednagar, that will be Chand Bibi. So please remember these names. These names are important, There are certain things which you have to remember from exam perspective. We'll talk about Deccan Sultanate again also when we are talking about Akbar and Aurangzeb, but there will be certain personalities. There will be certain things. Like when we are talking about Deccan Sultanate, there will be an art which is known as Bidri art. They can even ask you, Bidri art was popularized by which particular dynasty or sultanate? The answer is Deccan Sultanate. So they used to do copper and silver, permutation and combination, and they used to create such beautiful art which was known as Bidri art. We'll see it later on. Then one other thing which is very famous related to Deccan Sultanate is Gol Gumbaj of Bijapur, which was made by, as the name suggests, Bijapur, and Bijapur dynasty was at that time Adil Shahi dynasty. See, there are 5 dynasties and different groups will come and rule over these dynasties. You don't have to do PhD, but you have to understand the basic things which generally most of the exams ask. Like this Gol Gumbaj was made by which particular dynasty? Bijapur dynasty, and which dynasty was ruling over them? Adil Shahi dynasty. Chand Bibi was ruled, or means married to this particular Adil Shahi dynasty. At one point of time, she was controlling both Ahmednagar and Bijapur. This is the exact same case when we are talking about Gupta period, and we had talked about Prabhavati Gupta, who was ruling at a particular period of time. She was, controlling both Guptas and Vakatakas, because her father Chandragupta II was ruling during, and he was handling the Gupta reign, and she was ruling the Vakataka Empire. Fine. So we'll talk about Chand Bibi. So Gol Gumbaj, Bijapur, it is also known as Whispering Gallery. Gol Gumbaj. They can ask you, which of the following monument is known as Whispering Gallery? What is Whispering Gallery? That means even if you say something in a very silent or a very, you are not creating too much noise, even then people will hear you. And that's why at that point of time, people used to say what they used to say when they used to visit Gol Gumbaj. This is Bidri art. This is Bidri art. Such beautiful art. People used to say when they used to go to Gol Gumbaj that you have to say slowly, otherwise people will hear us out. Dheere dheere bol koi sunna le. That used to happen when people used to visit Gol Gumbaj. We'll talk about all these things. These are very important things. That song is also important. So, political history of these 5 sultanates, we know something about them. And again, some of these kingdoms will come together and they will sack Vijayanagar Empire during the period of Alia Rama Roy. This we have discussed in the last lecture. Alia Rama Roy belongs to which of the 4 dynasties of Vijayanagar? If you know about it, not the question, sir. I can't. Oh, sorry, Bulbul yaar. I will. The next question which I will tell now, I will read that out. Read that aloud. Cool. Don't worry about it. So yes. Charita is asking why, because she is differentially able, Charita, that's why. So, these Deccan Sultanate rulers, they will defeat Vijayanagar Empire in Battle of Talikota 1565, they will defeat Alia Rama Roy. This we have discussed yesterday. Cool, bro. Then what else? Deccan and South. So, we have discussed that, again, their golden period will start from 1490 onwards. For 100 years, they will enjoy their golden period, but during the reign of, or the later part of Akbar reign, that golden period will start coming to an end. So, this is the first, this is Akbar's slide. We'll talk about Mughals later on. Then we'll talk about this again. So, 1556 to 1605 is Akbar's reign, almost 49 years. Same 49 years will be, Aurangzeb will also be ruling, right? So, in 1590s, he is sending his first expedition to Deccan and South, and that is to Ahmednagar. And we have discussed Chand Bibi, she was born in Ahmednagar, she was married in Bijapur, and during this particular period of time, she come back to Ahmednagar to rule Ahmednagar's army. So, she is a, brilliant and very, brave woman. So, please remember Chand Bibi, just like you will remember Razia Sultan, just like you will remember Rudram Devi, do keep Chand Bibi in mind as well. By 1600, Mughal territories in Deccan included major portion of Ahmednagar and Berar. Berar is somewhere here. And by 1680-90, they will capture most of the portion of Deccan Sultanate. This we will discuss later on also when we are talking about Mughals. Then let's talk about their administration. So there are terms here, just like when we were talking about Delhi Sultanate, you had Iqtas. So here you have something known as Taraf. And the people who will be ruling over them, they will be known as Tarafdar. So how will you remember Taraf? Just like Palat. Just remember or remove Palat with Taraf, because they sound the same. So just like Shah Rukh Khan used to say in Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge Palat, here you have to say Taraf. And this guy is very angry because of this Palat thing. And there is another meme here, and these memes will help you in remembering Taraf Palat, Taraf Palat. Fine. This is not Anjali. Let's come back, bro. These are stupid jokes, stupid memes, but they will help you a lot in remembering these things or names. Again, here there are certain words which you have encountered earlier also. Khalisa land. Then when we were talking about Delhi Sultanate, we have talked about something known as Kharaj. What was Kharaj in Delhi Sultanate period? Okay, Charita has given the answer for Alia Rama Roy question. Good, yeah. So, Kharaj, what was Kharaj? Khalisa is crown land. See, here you are seeing something. We have to understand the basic intricacies of it. Some land was converted into Khalisa land, that is crown land. And this thing will happen during Mughal period also. This thing has happened earlier also, that some of the land which you are possessing or somebody else is possessing is converting into crown land. Why that happens? There is a reason for it. In Mughal period, that happened so much that when you read NCERT, you will realize that foreign authors are saying that most of the land, if not all, belongs to the king, because they feel like every land was Khalisa land. So why generally king does that? So let's say you have a land which is very fertile, and that could be put to optimum use only when you are applying adequate amount of nutrients and so irrigation, etc. Who can do best work on it? King. So king used to feel like this is a good land, this particular farmer will not be making optimum use of it, so let me take this particular land and I will ensure that I get the maximum productivity out of it. So that is the major reason why some, or in Mughal period, many lands were converted into Khalisa land. But obviously this is similar to, let's say we have a land which is along a highway, government wants to expand the highway, they will take our land. So nobody will like it. I will not like it because government will give me government rate and private rate is much higher. Hope you are understanding what I'm discussing here. So many people did not like this, but that used to happen. And when that happens more and more, when more and more land is converted into Khalisa land, that shows degree of centralization is more. Because if degree of centralization is less, people will resist and then king will, go away and king will feel like, no, okay, they will revolt. So, and I'm not that strong, so let me go away and let me not convert it into Khalisa land. So if you are seeing Mughals converting a lot of land into Khalisa land, that also shows high degree of centralization. Hope you're understanding what we are discussing here. Kharaj was land tax. Khalsa is mentioned in, no, Khalsa is a different thing. This is Khalisa. Wahe Guruji ka Khalsa, Wahe Guruji ki Fateh. That is a different thing, Charita. This is Khalisa. Khalisa is not equal to Khalsa. Just like Pehlavas are not equal to Pallavas. They are all different, Cool. So again, they are saying this from the jurisdiction Khalisa land was that. Again, we have discussed what is Khalisa, what is Kharaj. So I'm not reading that. Just remember Taraf. The piece of land, the unit here is Taraf. Like we were talking about Iqtaz in Delhi Sultanate. And the people who are ruling over them are known as Tarafdars. We have talked about all these things also. Two groups of nobles during the period of Bahmani as well as Deccan Sultanate. This will continue. It's not like 5 Deccan Sultanate, they have emerged and they have changed the Bahmani kingdom's policy, etc. drastically. They will continue to do what Bahmani kingdom was doing earlier. Only the names have changed. Only they got divided into 5 parts. Later on, one will capture the other will capture the third. You don't have to do PhD there. You don't have to go there. So Deccani and Afaki nobles and Mahmud Gavan was a part of Afaki nobles. We have talked about this. Fine. Persian, see, understand one thing. Bidri art we have discussed, copper and silver, and they are using this copper and silver to do artwork. That is Bidri art. This is one Bidri art. Second thing, they are saying that Persian language, etc. This Persian language, promotion of Persian language will be done by even Delhi Sultanate rulers. So, and that will be continued by this Bahmani Sultanate. Please understand one thing. We have discussed this, I think, earlier also. Urdu was developed by Amir Khusro in Delhi Sultanate. Urdu developed by Amir Khusro in Delhi Sultanate. So, and Muslim people used to, like, it's not like only Muslim people speak Urdu, but mostly most Muslim people speak Urdu, right? So, when these Muslim people, they came to South during the period of Muhammad bin Tughlaq also, Delhi to Daulatabad, and other time also, it's not like only that time they came in large number during that particular period. So, these people, these Deccan Sultanate and Bahmani kingdom, they developed another variant of Urdu, which is known as Dakhani Urdu. So this is also one of their contributions which you have to keep in mind. Art and culture, we talk about Persian language, culture, etc. Crafts, that is Bidri, and then we'll talk about Gol Gumbaj. But don't forget about Dakhani Urdu. They developed another variant of Urdu, and that is known as Dakhani Urdu, which you have to keep in mind. Fine. Oh, this has gone here. So this is Bidri art. And then the Gol Gumbaj in Bijapur, which is known as Whispering Gallery, because if you say something loudly, everybody will hear you. Fine. Built by Bijapur dynasty, which was Adil Shahi dynasty. That's it. You don't have to do again too much PhD here. So this is the song related to that. You should be saying things in a lighter tone in Gol Gumbaj. Otherwise, everybody will hear you. This is Gol Gumbaj of Bijapur. Now, let's try to see a history optional question on Bahmani kingdom. Because when you see this particular history optional question on Bahmani kingdom, your everything, whatever is required from UPSC perspective, and we are taking optional, so GS part is anyway covered. And you have to see sometimes these mains and optional question will give you a clarity which you will use to even eliminate options in UPSC pre. So write a short essay on Bahmani kingdom. If I just give you these points, you will not understand anything. Let's say if I even show you the next slide and everything, you will not understand what is written here. So I have to explain, and I will explain, and then things will be crystal clear. You will get a summary, what you need to know. You don't have to do PhD. So who was the founder? Hashan Gangu or Bahman Shah? Their initial capital was Gulbarga. Later on, they shifted their capital to Bidar. We have discussed this, and both of these regions lie in Karnataka. Fine. Then their greatest ruler, or the period during which they saw maximum, height, or they reached greater heights, ascendancy, that is the word, that is Muhammad Shah III, 1463 to 1482. And who was the vizier or minister during his period? What was the name of that guy? Kharaj was land tax. Muhammad Shah III, 1463 to 1482. Who was the minister? As Charita is saying, Mahmud Gawan. And we have talked about him. Whether he was a Dakhani or a Afaki noble, you can post it in the comment section. Here there are 3 words which are written. Tungabhadra Doab, Krishna Godavari Delta, Marathwada country, clashes. What does it mean is that this Bahmani kingdom, they are fighting in 3 different regions with Vijayanagar Empire, which were their, major adversary. So one is Tungabhadra Doab, second is Krishna Godavari Delta, and third is Marathwada country. You always have to look at the map to understand where they were fighting. Tungabhadra Doab we have discussed earlier also. Tungabhadra Krishna, this is Tungabhadra Doab region where Vijayanagar and Bahmani kingdom were fighting. Krishna Godavari Delta, here also they were fighting, and sometimes they were fighting even with the Gajapati rulers. And third is Marathwada country. Marathwada country is currently in Maharashtra region. Marathwada country is very famous or infamous for one thing, and you have to understand this thing from exam perspective. Here history and economy is merging. So Marathwada, if you have read newspaper, you will realize that this is and if you are from that region also, you will know it's a very drought prone region, Marathwada country. And in this particular region of Marathwada, people grow sugarcane a lot. What people grow? They grow sugarcane a lot. Sugarcane is a water intensive crop. Please understand this. UPSC has already asked a lot of questions on this in pre as well as mains. So there is one question: which country is the largest user of groundwater in the world? Can you answer this particular question? Which country is the largest user of groundwater in the world? Here history, economy, everything is merging, and we have to discuss these points. This is important. Which country is the largest user of groundwater in the world? If you know it, you can post it in the comment section. The answer is India. India is the largest user of groundwater in the world, and you can understand why. Marathwada country, which is a drought prone region where you witness drought every year, every second year, people are growing sugarcane. Why? Because they get something known as FRP on sugarcane. If you know the full form of FRP, you can post it in the comment section. The full form is India, as you are saying A dark, and India is the largest user of groundwater in the world. FRP is fair and remunerative price. Just like you get MSP, minimum support price, on sugarcane you get something known as FRP, fair and remunerative price. Because of this FRP, people in Marathwada region, drought prone region, are growing sugarcane, which is one of the water intensive crop along with rice. And I read it somewhere, I think either in Hindu or Indian Express, that sugarcane and rice, they account for almost 60% of the water used, groundwater used. So let's say you have 100 milliliter groundwater, 60 milliliter is used for sugarcane and rice. That should not happen. Marathwada should not grow sugarcane. Hope you are understanding what we are discussing here. Fair and remunerative price. So all these things are happening here, which has to stop. So yes, this is one thing by which people currently remember Marathwada as well. So Marathwada region was also a region which they were contesting. Please pay attention to these maps. This will help you in different domains, not only history. So Mahmud Gawan, we have discussed, he was the noble during the period of Muhammad Shah III, 1463 to 1482. If I am not wrong, he was killed in 1481. 1 year after that, Muhammad Shah III, he also died of shock. Successful war against Vijayanagar, Odisha, as well as sea pirates. College at Bidar, we have seen how that college used to look. He was a very selfless kind of a guy. Even if you read in a neutral manner and read books related to Mahmud Gawan, you will realize that he was a neutral guy. That's why he was saying, keep a tab on nobles, sir, me included. Built in Persian style, position over nobles. We have seen what happened, that he told king to keep a close tab on nobles. Nobles did not like this and they plotted against him, especially the Dakkani noble, and then the Afaki noble called Mahmud Gawan was killed. Dakkani, Afaki, these words you have to keep in mind. So how to read about rivers, sir? I'm entirely blank. Map, sir. Map. Map will help you in everything, sir, even rivers. So whenever you are reading about rivers, let's say Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri. Let's say, since A has asked about rivers, I give you this: Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri. Arrange them from north to south and post it in the comment section. Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, what is their order from north to south? So yes, sir, the more maps you see, the better you will become. Sir, it is really dangerous. Yes, the more, again, so yes, sir, map. The answer of how to understand rivers in a better manner is maps. Like somebody used to ask me, sir, how we will find out which is a left bank tributary of this river or right bank tributary. So you start from the origin point of the river. Here history and geography are merging now. So let's say river is starting from Rudraprayag or something. So you become river and you see which river is joining you from left. That is your left bank tributary. Which river is joining from you or you from right. That is your right bank tributary. That's how you deduce these things, Fine. Cool. So by like 1482, this whole thing happened. Muhammad Shah III reign ended. By 1490, kingdoms like Ahmednagar, they started getting created. 1527, all 5 Deccan Sultanates have emerged. So these are the points which you have to keep in mind. Fine. And this is a History Optional PYQ. This is a library made by Mahmood Gawan in Bidar. Now, if we talk about NCERT per se, that what NCERT has talked about. Yesterday's in the Vijayanagar class, we have talked about class 12, chapter 7, which was on Vijayanagar, obviously. So these were the pages which has exclusively talked about Deccan Sultanate. All the pages talk about Vijayanagar because that chapter is on Vijayanagar. So please keep a tab on these page number because I will ask you, we'll open the NCERT, we'll see what NCERT has talked about Deccan Sultanate in these 5 pages, page number 2, 3, 4, 5 and 24. And then again we'll come back to PPT. Okay, sir, just give me a second. So this is that book and let me see how much you can see. So I will expand it. Fine. I think you can see it now. So page number 2, 3, 4, 5 and I think last one was 24. So what they have talked about. See, Vijayanagar, every page is important from exam perspective, you know. But here, let me make it a little smaller. We are focusing on Deccan Sultanate because and Bahmani Kingdom because we have already talked about Vijayanagar yesterday. In fact, we have talked about a little bit about Bahmani Kingdom also yesterday. So here there is a talk related to the contemporary rulers. Vijayanagar, they were fighting. Their major two, adversaries were Deccan Sultans and Gajapati rulers. So Deccan Sultan, that also includes the Bahmani Kingdom. But Deccan Sultans, because they defeated Vijayanagar in the Battle of Talikota, which is also known as Battle of Rakshasa Tangadi, Rakshasi Tangadi, because Talikota is known as Rakshasa Tangadi, Rakshasi Tangadi. We have discussed this in the yesterday's lecture. So that's why Gajapati rulers and this Deccan Sultanate, this you have to remember. We have discussed this. Karnataka Samrajamu, title given to Vijayanagar Empire. Establisher of Yavana Kingdom, title given to Vijayanagar Empire. We have discussed this yesterday. Just like Pandyas and other rulers, they also added lots of Gopuram to the existing temples. Here they means Vijayanagar. And page number 3, here we have talked about Gajapati, Ashwapati and Narpati. So Deccan Sultans, they are termed as Ashwapati. This is what is written related to because they had good quality horses and these horses will later play a crucial role in the defeat of Vijayanagar by Deccan Sultans in the Battle of Talikota. When we see from administration point of view of any kingdom, which are all important, sir? Like in which way, sir? In administrative, we have seen about the administrative point of view, like you have Iqtadari system, here you have Tarafdari system and the divisions are known as Taraf. So these are the points which are important, especially what NCERT mentions, that becomes very important. So these things we have discussed. Let's see what else is important. See, if I make it a little smaller. So here we have talked about the import of horses and how they will play a crucial role in the victory of Deccan Sultanate. Kudirai Chettis, please don't remember this or forget this term. You have to remember. So don't remember, that means do remember Kudirai Chettis what they were. Fine. Page number 3. Then page number 4. What are we talking about? Amukta Malyada. Here in a way Krishna Dev Roy is giving a prophecy that we will later be defeated by Deccan Sultanate because we are not paying proper respect to the traders. You can have a look at it. We have discussed this yesterday. And here why we have taken page number 4? Because in 1565 here Talikota, Rakshasi Tangadi, they can even ask you, because NCERT says this, which particular place is known as Rakshasi Tangadi or which battle is known as Battle of Rakshasi Tangadi. So please remember Battle of Talikota, Bijapur, Ahmednagar and Golconda. Page number 3, 2, 3, 4 happened and then the 5 and then we'll go to 24. We have done the whole chapter yesterday, so you can have a look at this also. So here we have talked about like many scholars, they try to take advantage of the current, charged atmosphere, how things are little charged right now. So they try to portray this battle between Vijayanagar and Deccan Sultanate as Hindu versus Muslim battle. So this particular page number 5 of class 12 chapter 7 NCERT is saying that no, that was not the case. They were not always hostile towards each other. During the period of Krishna Dev Roy, things were very awesome between Vijayanagar Empire and Deccan Sultanate, and that is what is written. It's just because of Alya Rama Roy, who was, from Sangam Saluva Tuluva Adavidu dynasty, who played one Deccan ruler against the other, because of which this Battle of Talikota happened. And since during the period of Krishna Dev Roy, he used to ensure who will be ruling over different Deccan Sultanate. He was known as establisher of Yavana Kingdom. Earlier we have discussed that Yavana only refers to Greek. Here even Yavana refers to those people who have come from northwest, even the Muslim people included. Islam. These people, they have come from outside. So they are also known as Yavana and the establisher of Yavana Kingdom is Krishna Dev Roy. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Kudirai Chettuvi in Tamil Nadu used some particular type of vessel, sir. Okay. 1560 Chief Minister answer refers to which post, sir? 1565. 1565 Battle of Talikota, Chief Minister here. Where is Chief Minister? Okay, so let's go to page number 24 now. I can go by this, let's go like this. 24, why it is important? And yes, sir, please pay attention to this particular chapter. This is important from exam perspective. Oh, we have come to the end. So let's go a little up. So why page 24 is important? Because of this particular box. You will not, you will not take me seriously, but I am telling you, in one particular exam, what has happened, conducted by UPSC, they have asked question from this particular box. Based on Alexander Greenlord, he takes the first detailed photographs, JV fleet, etc., etc. Conservation begins, blah, blah, blah. So Colin Mackenzie, we have discussed yesterday. He is the first Surveyor General of India. So please pay attention to everything which is there in NCERT, especially the portion which I have underlined. And see here, this is the part which we are discussing. Sultanates of Ahmednagar, Bijapur and Berar, they will be getting formed by 1490. 8 years after Muhammad Shah III dies, 9 years after Mahmud Gawan dies, you know. And by 1518, Sultan of Golconda, and that will happen. So 1490 to 1527 is the period when these Delhi Sultanates will emerge, and that is the point which you have to keep in mind. Now let's go back to our PPT. So these were the pages which we have discussed. The whole chapter we have discussed yesterday. So you can have a look at them. Now let's solve some more questions for the day. Hampi UNESCO World Heritage Site. Very good here. 7th question of the day. Assertion and reason. According to Ashoka's edict, social harmony among the people was more important than religious devotion. Reason R is he spread ideas of equity instead of promotion of religion. And you have to select the correct options here. So A is both A and R are true, but R is the correct explanation of A. B is both A and R are true, but R is not a correct explanation of A. C is A is true, but R is false. And D is A is false, but R is true. So what according to you is the answer of this particular question? Assertion, reason. Ashoka's edict, UPSC loves Ashoka's edict, Ashoka's inscription. So you have to solve these questions. Umesh has given the answer of this question. So if we talk about it, there is a discussion related to Ashoka's edict, Ashoka's inscription, that he is promoting Buddhism. But nowhere we have seen all the rock edicts, major rock edicts, nowhere he has explicitly written that, please, support Buddhism and don't follow other religions. He's more about, we should respect our elders and we should be respecting people of other religion, blah, blah, blah. So he spread ideas of equity instead of promotion of religion. At least in his edicts, we are not seeing explicit, promotion of Buddhism. So both the statements are true and R is correct explanation. These kind of questions can be tricky. UPSC these days, they are not asking these kind of questions, but you never know when they shift again to these kind of questions or they include some of these questions. So be ready and solve these kind of questions, Question number 8. Consider the following statements regarding the town planning in Harappan civilization. First is, the cities had public baths. Second is, they used mud bricks or air-dried bricks as burned bricks were not known to them. Third is, dockyard at Lothal had lock gate system. Consider the following statements regarding the town planning in Harappan civilization. A. First, the cities had public baths. Second, they used mud bricks or air-dried bricks as burned bricks were not known to them. Third, dockyard at Lothal had lock gate system. Which of the above statement is are correct? A3 only, B1 and 3 only, C 1 and 2 only, D all of the above. So Dark has given the answer. See, again, if you go back and revise Harappan civilization and IVC, so we have talked about that burnt bricks that were known to them. We have even seen how those bricks were, fired clay, etc. So second statement, you should know this. It is written explicitly in so many books. NCERT included, our slides included. So burnt bricks were known to them. So second statement, they are saying not known, that is wrong. So eliminate second. You are left with A and B, 3 only, 1 and 3 only. So now you don't even need to check for 3. Lothal is in news from current affairs perspective also. Ancient Maritime Heritage Complex is being constructed there. And time and again rather, it is in news there. Ancient Maritime Heritage Complex. Hindu and Indian Express keep on talking about it. Fine. Keeps on talking about it. So third is correct. First, the city is at public baths. Yes, they had. So the answer is B, as I think Dark said it first. Okay, cool. Okay, I have to say the options. I'm so sorry, I forget that. Okay, ninth question of the day. I will say all the options, Bulbul. So, ninth question is arrange the following archaeological sites of Indian. Okay, I know why you're saying A and C. Good, Bulbul. So, arrange the following archaeological sites of Indian subcontinent from north to south. First is Burja Home. Second is Chiran. I will tell you about Chiran. Third is Mehergarh. Fourth is Bhimbetka. Select the correct option from the given quotes below. A is 2134, B is 1234, C is 1324 and D is 3124. So you have to arrange them from north to south, these archaeological sites. First is Burja Home, second Chiran, third Mehergarh, fourth Bhimbetka. What is the correct option here? A 2134, B 1234, C 1324 or D 3124. So I have got an answer from Dark, A, Bulbul and Charita. So Burja Home is at the top, then you have Mehergarh, Chiran, UP Bihar region, so it's lower and Bhimbetka is lower than that. So the answer is 1324. How many of you have given C as the answer? Dark, A, Bulbul and Charit. Very good here. Let's have a look at this. So this is your Burja Home, Neolithic site, pit dwelling. Cannot forget it. Where we have discussed it. We have discussed it when we were talking about sources and Stone Age. Mehergarh, Neolithic site and earliest evidence of cotton and wheat cultivation in Indian subcontinent. Fine. Chirand, famous for rice. One of the earliest evidence of rice cultivation, we have found it in Chirand region. And then Bhimbetka, UNESCO World Heritage Site, known for their like Paleolithic settlement, etc. etc. So Bhimbetka, Adamgarh, you cannot forget, and this is the order which you have to keep in mind. Fine, sir and ma'am. So let's move on to next question. Arrange the below mentioned ancient Indian university in their chronological order of establishment. First is Takshila, second is Nalanda University, third is Vikramshila University. Select the correct option from the below mentioned orders. A is 213, B is 123, C is 132 and D is 231. Bro, 213 is the answer of which question, bro? Okay, so what is the order? B, 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 A. So Takshila University, established by Achaemenians. Achaemenians, we have discussed about them when we are talking about Achaemenians and Macedonians, even during the period of Mahajanpads, before Mauryans, Achaemenians. And then Nalanda University, Kumargupta. 5th century AD. Vikramshila University, Dharmpala, after him. So the earliest is Achaemenians, then Nalanda and then Vikramshila, 1, 2, 3, which Dark Umesh Sundaram has given the answer. Don't get confused, bro. These are the questions which you have to get correct. Revise the previous lectures. Nadi kinare saap hai, aise questions galat karna paap hai. That means alongside a river bank you will find a snake, and doing stupidity in these kind of questions is a sin which you cannot allow yourself. You cannot do that, bro. Not at all. Fine. So please don't do mistakes in these kind of questions. That is not correct. This should not happen. Panini Ashtadhyayi. Panini studied from like Takshila University along with Kautilya. But were they of the same batch? We don't know. So question number 11, match list 1 of pottery with their respective age in list 2. So list 1 pottery, list 2 ancient age. First in the list 1 pottery is black and red ware, and there here it is written A Vedic period. Second, painted grey ware PGW, B is Harappan age. C northern black polished ware, C is Mauryans. Or third is northern black polished ware, C is Mauryans. And you have to select the correct option from the given codes below. A is 1A, 2B, 3C, B is 1B, 2A, 3C, C is 1C, 2A, 3B, D is 1C, 2B, CA. 3A. So hope you are understanding the answer means question here. List A, list 1, list 2, pottery, ancient age. A has given the answer. Dark has also given the answer. So black and red ware, this we have discussed around, like we have also heard the mnemonic or read the mnemonic rather. What was the mnemonic? If you know it, post it in the comment section. So yes sir. So black came first, black and red ware around Harappan period. So one has to be B. If one has to be B, use, okay. If you know one is B, you don't even need to know anything else. And you are getting the answer 1B, 2A, 3C. Painted grey ware, PGW, that is Vedic period, and northern black polished ware, Mauryans. As Umesh has given the answer, BOPN was the mnemonic rather. And BOPN, so B is black and red ware around 1000 BC, 2400 BC, you had this 2400 BC, and then ochre colored pottery you had around 1500 to 1000 BC, that is early Vedic period. Then painted grey ware you had it around 1000 to 600 BC, that is later Vedic period. And then northern black polished ware from 600 BC to 100 AD, and then different scholars gives different dates. So don't worry too much about it. Just remember that northern black polished ware is the latest pottery, and this we have also discussed earlier, that if you know one pottery, it doesn't mean you will forget the previous different types of pottery. So you have to also keep that in mind. Fine. So B is the answer. Black and red ware, ochre colored, painted grey ware, northern black polished ware. Around 2400 BC, 1000 to 1000 BC. In fact, it covers late, early Vedic period as well. And then painted grey ware, and then northern black polished ware. Fine. This is a approximate data, approximate years. And when we talk about Indus Valley, this is around 2600 to 1900. So please remember these dates. At least remember the chronology. That will help you in eliminating options, sir and ma'am. So now, today's class will be shorter. There were 11 questions today. If we include the PYQ also, so that means we had all in all 12 questions today. So what was your score out of those 12 questions? And yes, if you want to be part of my Telegram channel, which you were asking earlier in different, videos also. Yesterday I did a video, current affairs. There are also people who are asking. So fun study with Shubh, you can join it. Yes, sir. What is your score? And do you have any doubt related to anything you have studied up until now? You can again post it, ask it if you have any doubt. Because currently we are at 18th lecture. After that, the chronology is something like we have to do Bhakti movement tomorrow. Bhakti movement means serious Bhakti movement we have to do. We have to do, I think, multiple NCERT chapters along with PPT, because Bhakti movement and Sufi movement, UPSC love them from both pre as well as mains perspective. And once we are done with Bhakti and Sufi movement, we have to go to, Mughals, and then we will go to Portuguese and all those, and then the modern India period will start. Thank you, Charita. Thank you, Bulbul. So anything you want to ask? Any queries? Any doubt? A has got 8 out of 12. That is actually very good, A. Any queries of yours? Anything you can ask? Because today's lecture is short, so you can ask anything you want to ask. And yes, sir, you can post it in the comment section. What you can post it in the comment section? You can post it in the comment section. Who was the founder of Bahmani kingdom? Because, these are the kind of questions which you should know. Sufi movement. Yes, we'll talk about Sufi movement after Bhakti movement is done. Bhakti movement and Sufi movement, if you see NCERT also, there is class 7 and we'll see chapters. So one chapter, and in one part they will cover in NCERT. I will show you explicit chapters related to class 7 and class 12. Where in the same chapter they will talk about Bhakti movement also and Sufi movement also, and we have to do compare and contrast also. So let's say tomorrow we talk about Bhakti movement in entirety, and then in the next lecture we talk about Sufi movement. So once we are done with Sufi movement, at the end we will do a comparative analysis of Bhakti and Sufi movement. Every day the class happens at 7 PM only, Ajit. Every day at 7 PM, Cool. Please ask your doubt. I'm there for your doubts. I don't want to end this early. So if you have any doubts, ask this, because not every class will be this short. Tomorrow, I think we'll need a lot of time because Bhakti is very large. So many things to discuss there. Anything you want to ask? Any queries? Cool, bros. Then I will see you people tomorrow. And that's it for today. Take care. Be blessed.